or at least dodging really badly. Okay, managed that. Now just the actual event.
After a very slim victory against the Scourge, the Tier 2 Acid Rain was a breeze. I don't end up getting the drop I wanted from this, that being the Orthocera shell as a much needed sentry upgrade, but go back to the with wins anyway.
It's going worse than my first attempt. Like a lot worse. Yeah. I think I just managed to phase transition them both at the same time, which is the exact opposite of what I should do. Pokemon's gonna be dead soon. Ah! Okay, let's go for it. Okay, let's try not to jump into the projectiles. I've heard that works quite well. And I'm still using mining armor. I've heard that doesn't work so well. I did at least get my adrenaline off. Okay, I think we got it. There we go. Not too bad. Could have been worse. Could have been better. I could have had the right things equipped. That would have helped. But we got it in the end.
With my second mech down, I can now allow myself to use titanium and adamantite, but honestly these don't offer much, so aside from upgrading my Hellforge, I mostly skip this tier. At this point I've been sitting at 380 health for quite a while, so decide to do one last push on the life crystal grind to get up to max health. This is a good point to bring up some fishing tech that Bone Reaper taught me to eke out a little more efficiency from each session. Whenever my sonar potion detects an item I don't want, I quickly swap to another item in my hotbar and then back to my fishing rod. This cancels the time that would have been spent on the bobber animation and allows you to get straight back to waiting for a good catch. Pair this with a block directly below the bobber to slightly speed up the time it takes to settle, and you have a recipe for a high-octane, skill-based fishing session. 8 minutes later, I open my crates to find not one but 2 life crystals. Enough to both max out my health and make my first heart lantern. Looking back, I've come a long way from fighting slimes in the void. So, what's next? I could turn my 8 dirt into mud, plant some jungle grass and defeat Skeletron Prime, hoping a Plantera's bulk spawns on top of it. Considering the intended progression of the game, that would make a lot of sense. But there's a better option. By farming some enemies in the astral biome that I've mostly ignored since collecting my 8 dirt, I gather the materials needed to craft an astral chunk. Taking on Astramoris right now may seem a little strange, but trust me when I say it's going to be well worth it.
If you're walking, he will not land on you. When he jumps, just walk. When we need to dash, he will not reach you. Just jump the projectile wave. Okay. Okay, I think I know what you mean now. Yeah, like
this
that.
time, they're not breaking the
Slime is falling from the sky. Another good slime attempt.
Magic time.
Back to the start of the playthrough, guys.
The first time I ever did it, I was just kind of cheating. The second time I have to love it. My bet this time I'm going to get to the Varagod and lose it. And they got this rocket bomb before I die again.
Onboarding, benefits, time off requests, fixing payroll, it has to stop.
Was that necessary?
Okay, getting close. It's getting close to dying, especially if that hits me. A few seconds to heal, and then I might actually be able to do this. Hey! Not too bad.
from Aureus dropped some really good weapons and a permanent upgrade to my adrenaline, but that's not why I fought them so early. You may have noticed at the end of the fight there was a message in chat about another star falling from the heavens. This is entirely normal, it happens in most worlds after defeating Aureus, but what doesn't usually happen is this. What you're looking at is a second monolith that spawned right on top of the existing one, and yes, this one contains dirt too. Full credit for this discovery goes to Raz in my Discord server. The full explanation behind it is a little complex and has to do with the number of astral tiles in the world and the astral ore on the surface. But the headline is that each time I defeat Aureus, I gain access to an extra 8 dirt. Now, considering what I've already done with the first 8 dirt, imagine what I could do with a technically infinite supply of it. New biomes, new enemies, new icons and new bosses are now closer than ever before. But to see all of that, you're going to have to subscribe to the channel and wait for the next episode. Unless of course you'd like to join my Patreon where it will already be uploaded when this one goes public. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Okay, nice thing. What is all?
Pre-hard mode mage gets a bad rap, and pre-Skeletron mage is often cited as an absolute pain to play. And it's understandable why. Most people look at the gem staves and perhaps rightly say that they aren't very good. Now mage in this phase of the game does have a few ways you can break it. Either gathering materials needed for jungle armor or painful process of slowly grinding a demon scythe through the game. Mage can be the most busted class pre-boss, but few people are willing to go through the slog of obtaining the necessary equipment to do so, and I don't think this is a bad thing. What I do think is that most people don't understand the proper way to play mage in pre-hard, or just how good and viable it really is. In an effort to prove this, I have created a special mage roadmap that I think will best utilize mage's strengths to prove the viability of pre-Skeletron mage. We open the world and start talking. Unlike some people, I'm not a class endurance. I will not be limiting myself to only mage items by doing something as ridiculous as not allowing myself to use my short sword. Other people can do that if that's what they really want to do, but personally, I think that playing a certain class and having fun at the same time don't have to be at odds with each other, and so we'll use whatever weapons and gear we find while trying to get mage gear as quickly as possible. Once mage gear is obtained, then we'll switch to only mage. Once 2 houses have been assembled and a few slimes killed for their gel, we started our journey to the left side of the world in search for the cave. This is where we begin the first phase of my secret roadmap. We want to gather the gems and cobwebs needed to make a gem road. In mage armor, I swear most people don't actually utilize. While we're at it, we'll also be looking for gems to make our first weapon, and if we're lucky, we'll come across a wand of sparking, which does raise an important point of this run. My roadmap is meant to be as repeatable as possible, while also utilizing all the mage gear available in pre-hard mode and killing every
Yes! Let's
Weapons
go!
such as the wand
I
of
beat
sparking
it!
and Zapinator are notoriously unreliable finds. I'd use the wand if I found one because it's not exactly OP, but even if the traveling merchant were to sell a Zapinator, I will not be buying it. This run has to prove that mage is viable without relying entirely on good RNG. I found an oddly placed golden chest with a mace in it. Right next to it is a treasure room with Hermes boots, and after mining down a very short distance, what the heck is with the loot in this world? What on earth? It's only a magic mirror, but I'm already feeling a little uneasy because this run can't be RNG reliant, and right now I've had 3 golden chests in very close proximity to each other. You're not wrong to suspect foul play. This is not normal where these gold chests have been. Something does not feel right. You come across an emerald gem tree, but this world has silver ore, not tungsten, which raises what I think is a very important point. I made a video about how to fix pre-hard mode mage that talks about ways I think the gem staves can be fixed and some of their problems, but I focused too much on the ruby and diamond staff. Really, all gem staves have one major issue, and that is, no matter the run, you'll always be partially reliant on RNG, such as this world, where I'm finding mostly emeralds at the start, but it's a silver world. If I found sapphires, I could make a quick staff, but instead, I'm stuck with emeralds and, well, a not corresponding ore. Now, I forget whether silver shimmers into tungsten or vice versa, but to make a class viable early game, you can't force them to rely on finding the shimmer. That would be really dumb. So what I think should happen is that gem stabs should be more cross-compatible, so to speak. Copper and tin should both be able to make topaz and amethyst staffs. Tungsten and silver can both make emerald and sapphire.
My
The variety
God.
in the staff's
Sorry, that
power
was
is
so
so
loud.
minimal,